to get on my knees and not worry, but just pray. And even in those like little situations, because like things like that would happen all the time, and I'd be panicking, and then it would ruin my whole day. And I didn't. It was just because everything I had stopped doing, and your body just kind of like it tries to adjust to that. And after that, I was in one day. I remember after that, I was in Indiana. I was at my grandparents' house, and I was on the lake, and I was just like in a canoe. And I remember watching like the sunset, and I just remember praying to the Lord that He would just take that away from me, but that He would instill, desire to just pray about everything and to never worry about anything, like just like the verse says. And ever since then, obviously I struggle with that, but everybody does. That's one of the things that we all struggle with, is praying and reading our Bible. But that's just a little personal thing that it helped me. The Lord hears your requests, and He hears you when you're in need, because that's what He's there for. One I'm gonna probably read a little bit more of this, but let's turn to Genesis 18. There's this really cool story about when Sodom was about to be destroyed. I think it's Genesis verse. Yeah, it's 18. Start at verse 30. And this is just a little example of God hears your prayers, and He cares about your prayers, no matter how big, no matter how small. And let's start at verse 30. And He said unto him, "Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall be 30 found there." And he said, "I will not do it, if I find 30 there." And he said, "Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there." And he said, "I will not destroy it for 20's sake." And he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, "I will not destroy it for 10's sake." And the Lord went His way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place. And the Lord, this was Sodom and Gomorrah. You guys have heard the story before. It was the most wicked place. Sin was running desolate everywhere, and the Lord, Abraham just had such a desire to help the people, and he didn't want them to be destroyed, because he had such a love for them. And the Lord said, "If there's 30 righteous there, I won't destroy it. If there's 20 righteous there, I won't destroy it. If there's 10 righteous there, I won't destroy it." There wasn't even that. It ended up being just Lot and his family escaping from. I don't know if it was 10 or not. Probably not 10, but but the Lord heard Abraham's prayer. It says, "Do you ever worry that God might be upset when you keep on asking for something?" Abraham felt the same way. He said, "Oh, let the Lord not be angry, and I will speak yet but this once." God wasn't angry at all. For one thing, Abraham was asking God to be merciful. Abraham asked God to spare Sodom for the sake of 10 righteous people. God could find only one, Lot, so He made sure Lot and his family escaped before fire destroyed the wicked city. If you know what you're praying for, if you know what you're talking about, what you're praying for honors God and is the kind of thing He wants to do, you don't need to be anxious. Your prayers are pleasing to the Lord. So even he didn't destroy it until He let that family go, and that just goes to show, the Lord really answers prayers. He really cares about the little things, 5 people, 2 people, however many it is, He really cares, and He really answered the prayer for that. Okay, James 5:16, it says, "The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much." And, when I think about that, I think about Brother Branham. He was one of the most righteous men of this day. I'm not trying to put him on a pedestal, but he was a prophet, and he was so righteous. He would spend hours and hours and hours on these sermons, and he had such a desire to save the souls of the people, and it availed much. He at one point, I think in one of his sermons, he said he led 500,000 to the Lord in one of his sermons in India, and that having that kind of a desire for the people and being able to lead so many people to Christ, he still felt like he was unworthy. And, I sometimes think about that, like how small I am. I've talked to people about the Lord, I've witnessed to people about the Lord, but have I ever really led somebody to Christ? I mean, I can't really say that I